Today, we are taking a look at the 4-3-1-2, walking you through how it works and how you can implement it into your game right now. So many people at the minute are saying they struggle with, I can't play out of the press. And the 4-3-1-2 has become one of the big culprits for that. Because you have the right back and left back on the overlap, they're always sat high up the pitch anyway. Because you've got so many men in the middle, there really isn't a way out for the opponent unless they go for a dink ball over the top completely over everyone and up to their strikers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video here on our channel. I'm the FIFA Analyst, and we have got part one of the 4-3-1-2 formation guide. We're going to have lots of separate videos coming on the 4-3-1-2 over the next week or so as we go ahead and break down and show you everything about the formation. Today, we're talking about it and explaining the 4-3-1-2 first of all, so you can actually understand what sort of attacking patterns do we look for, how does the formation set up, and all of that good stuff. And following on in the series, we'll show you how to attack with it, how to defend with it, how to create your own custom tactics, and absolutely everything. So the 4-3-1-2, first of all, why are we starting with that? Well, it's a very popular formation at the minute on FIFA 21, right? Especially against the 5 at the back that we have seen being quite popular as well. The 4-3-1-2 has been a very good counter to that, and a lot of people are using it in weekend league. You've probably come up against it multiple times yourself, and it's very, very difficult to deal with for multiple reasons, which we will go into. So it is something that almost anyone can put in their game. There is different sort of play styles that you can have with the formation, but it is a very unique and an attacking and gets you lots of goals, especially with the way that we're probably going to advise you to set it up. Now, what does the formation work well against? Well, it works well against the 4-4-2, the 5-3-2, the 4-2-3-1, almost anything that has limited amounts of numbers in the middle of the park, right? So with a 4-3-1-2, you're probably going to have the one CDM sat deep, but you're going to have the right CM, left CM, the cam, and the two strikers obviously all going forward, which is going to give you 5 players going forward in attack through the middle, which is the key factor here. So if you're coming up against a 4-4-2, they've only got their 2 centre mids and 2 centre backs. You have 1 extra man. They're already outnumbered. Going on from that, we do have width available from the 4-3-1-2 with the fullbacks, which will show you how we are going to utilize them in the examples which we're going to go with shortly. It does have some counters though. A 3-5-2, for example, can work quite well against the 4-3-1-2. It is all very much dependent on the player's ability and skill, to deal against the 4-3-1-2. It does obviously have a very big issue that if you lose the ball and you don't get a goal, you are going to need to make sure you can defend very well with limited numbers and wait for your team to get back. And we'll show you that later on in the series on how to defend. What we're going to do now, though, is we're going to go ahead, jump into some examples, kind of take a look at how the formation sets up in game when moving forward in attack and defending, and absolutely everything, so we can show you how you guys can utilize it. Moving over into our first example, let's take a look at how the team lines up when going forward in attack and maybe trying to hit on the counter. Now, what we can see is we have got our 3 men in the middle, the 3 centre mids, right? We also have our fullbacks on the overlap along with our 2 strikers just sat up against their centre backs. Now, what this allows us to do is to get into this area and see that we have plenty of options. We have the ability to get the ball wide and attack into the box, or recycle on the edge and outnumber the opponent. We're going to have plenty of men available in the middle to move the ball around and get into that beautiful 18-yard box. Once you get in there, using obviously any skill moves that are in your locker, like we do with the Coutinho, and getting the shot off there works really, really well. So just again, really emphasizing the fact that we have the ability to use the width and look for the fullbacks on the overlap, or pass the ball around in the middle and use our advantage in numbers. And it makes it very, very easy for us to do that when going forward. Now, we are going to stop right there, and we are going to talk to you about, well, we've said that, we want to use the fullbacks on the overlap. We've got the men in the middle. How do we want our team to actually be set up, first of all? Players and who you're using plays a big factor in this team, kind of this formation. Now, your fullbacks need to have the ability to get forward, but also get back. Maybe high work rates could be perfect for your right back and your left back when using this formation. The middle centre defensive mid is the one which I use as my defensive centre mid. So that would be the person that I would use to stay back while attacking, cover the center, and break up any counters. Think of like a Kante or a Vieira in this role for you as well. The right centre mid and the left centre mid are going to be more of your traditional box-to-box centre mids. Got the ability for a finesse shot on the edge and all of that good stuff. And then obviously you've got your your typical cam and your strikers, which they are what they are. You pick what you want, whether you want a Rashford, Mbappe, whoever, Neymar in the cam role. It does really suit you and kind of how you play. But let's go ahead and carry on with some more examples. So where people can go wrong with this formation is not realising that you have the ability to use your centre mid through the middle as well. So you have the ball out wide here with the Acuna. Now, like I said, we've got our cam that we want them to kind of go ahead and make those runs from deep, which is exactly what Coutinho does there. We started from the width and then we moved our way back into the middle, which again, you have the ability to do that. It's very different than if you were running a 4-2-3-1 there, because the majority of the times you wouldn't be using your fullbacks, you'd be using your left attacking mid or right attacking mid, and you wouldn't have as many men in the middle to kind of go through and showcase, kind of coming into that 18-yard box. So you really can use it to your advantage. It's so good having those men coming forward. Now, we'll talk about tactics in separate videos, but one thing as well is that for me, myself, I run press on possession loss with this formation. I want the ability to win the ball back when I lose it. I want to box the opponent in. And when you do that, because you've got the amount of men that you have got in that final third, you win the ball, you outnumber the opponent. It's then very easy for you to find those passes, look for those scoop turns, look for those directional nutmegs, and get into that, the 18-yard box to get that goal. Can work really, really well for you. When you are moving forward, you can play this formation in a very quick counter-attack style, like you've seen here as well, with Coutinho popping that one into the back of the net. Or you can be slow and a little bit more patient and move the ball around slowly, however kind of suits you. The 4-3-1-2 works in any way that you want it. Now, when we do lose the ball, like I said, because we're on press on possession loss, we've got high players in box on our particular tactics that we are running here, we can go ahead and we can punish that opponent very quickly for that. Having a high players in box and wanting to get forward and put that pressure on the opponent makes it very, very difficult for them to find a way out. So many people at the minute are saying they struggle with, I can't play out of the press. And the 4-3-1-2 has become one of the big culprits for that. Because you have the right back and left back on the overlap, they're always sat high up the pitch anyway. Because you've got so many men in the middle, there really isn't a way out for the opponent unless they go for a dink ball over the top, completely over everyone and up to their strikers. So that's why the formation has kind of been a go-to for a lot of people at the minute because of its advantages. Moving on to defending, you will struggle when you are defending because obviously you've got so many men going forward. The key thing to do is to just try and buy time. You don't need to try and win the ball every time they're getting past the halfway line. Just buy yourself some time. Don't commit. Wait for your players to get back. Koundé here doing a very, very good example of that. We're outnumbered. We've not got the men there. We're not going to go and commit to the man that's not a massive threat just yet. We're going to hold our line and we're just going to try and buy some time and hope that the opponent makes a mistake. It is difficult to defend in the 4-3-1-2, so do stay tuned for the defending video in the next part of this series to hopefully help you guys with that as well. Remember we spoke earlier on about that centre defensive mid being your more typical CDM. You want to make sure that you are dragging them back and reducing the gap between that centre mid and your centre backs as much as possible. That does make it harder for the opponent to penetrate your back line. So using your centre defensive mid and your right CM and left CM as best as you possibly can when defending will come an absolute treat for you and will make it a lot easier for you to defend. So do bear that in mind when you are playing the formation as well. So as I said earlier on, take a look at your team, take a look at maybe your play style and will it suit you? If you want to play tick-attacker, if you want to play quick counter, if you want to be aggressive and on the front foot, it may be a brilliant formation for you. We are going to be bringing you a separate video though to talk to you about the custom tactics and what you can set up and how you can set it up. You will have on the screen now my custom tactics on what I do run in the 4-3-1-2, just so you can get a bit of an idea. However, I would really advise you to come back and stay tuned for that next video on the custom tactics explained so you can create your own to suit you and your playstyle, because every player is different, every team is different, work rates are different. you may want to change and tweak a few things on that front as well for you. All right. So that is kind of the 4-3-1-2 explained, what it's good against, what it's bad against, and how you can utilize it in your game. If you have enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, click a like on the video. If you have any questions, pop them down below and I'll get back to you if I can. Do subscribe to the channel if you are new. We do stream over on twitch.tv/FIFA Analyst as well. So do go and show some love over on there and ask any questions if you have any. I do want to thank you all very much for watching. It is greatly appreciated. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.